Hey guys, Chronically Jenny here, and today I am joined by the beautiful, the wonderful, the super smart. Shall I just keep complimenting you?
Keep going. I'm ready for more.
It's Miss Izzy Cornblow, yeah, plus.
Hi.
For anyone who doesn't know Izzy, she's super cool. She has a massive YouTube channel, and she is also really good at science, so kind of delves a little bit deeper into some of the understanding of EDS and chronic conditions in general, but also likes to have a bit of fun, and we have a good laugh as well. So today we're gonna have a bit more of a laugh because this video is all about the Reddit thread, Am I an Arsehole? And basically it has different stories where people ask if they're an arsehole or not, and we're going to help these people decide if they are or not.
And this is a disabled / chronically ill edition. So we specifically each found someone's on disability. Mine's on disability, hers is chronic illness, so we searched different words so that the same stories don't show up. I have not read mine yet, but it will be a first when we read them to each other. Okay, do you want to start?
I can. Right. Am I the arsehole for telling my girlfriend her chronic illnesses are her own fault? Instantly, you go arsehole, right?
Yeah, seriously, let's read the story.
I'll read the story, okay. My girlfriend, 20, female, and I, 36, male, have been living together for about 6 months now. She has quite a lot of mental and physical health conditions. She has chronic migraines, hypermobile joints that are causing severe pain in her wrists, chronic kidney disease, and...
Stop there, that's surprising. What?
I think she's a bendy.
Yeah, potentially, yeah.
She has anemia as well as depression. She's been struggling a lot over the past few weeks, a lot of headaches and pain in her wrists, but to me, she's doing absolutely nothing to help herself. She eats absolute junk, and when she is feeling okay, she does absolutely no exercise or anything that could help her depression or her headaches. She's so depressed, she hasn't even showered for maybe 2 weeks. The other night, I tried initiating a conversation on getting her back to feeling okay, and she got really pissed at me, telling her I don't understand how she feels. I appreciate that I don't, but I replied telling her she does absolutely nothing to help herself, so it's just her own fault she feels a bit like shit all the time. We ended up in a massive argument, and she's been cooped up in the spare room ever since. Am I the arsehole?
On the count of 3, do you want to just say yes or no, and then we'll... 2, 3.
Yes!
Asshole, yeah.
Oh no, my phone fell out. I mean, when you feel rubbish, you don't have the motivation to do anything but sit there and eat rubbish food, even if you know it's not the best thing for you. Sometimes it is the best thing for you. Like, I've definitely gone a week or so without showering. It's just chronic illness reality, right?
It's hard, especially with POTS. Like, I totally understand that.
Yeah.
He, like, obviously is not under... I'm glad that he says he appreciates that he can never understand what she's going through.
Yeah.
But he's totally right. He's literally putting fault on her. And I'm shocked that he would even use that title. It almost makes me feel like he's not the one that wrote this, like she wrote it and like is trying, I don't know, because like what, because he's calling himself out.
He's the asshole.
Yeah, seriously, for then everybody to be like, yup, because clearly he is. Like, I understand, like it might be frustrating maybe as a partner to feel like your partner isn't doing something to help themselves, but first of all, the most important thing to say is like, this person's chronically ill and has these issues not because of their own wrongdoing. No. You know, like they have these issues which are then making it more difficult to do the things that you're saying, and then add depression on top of that, which understandably oftentimes really comes along with chronic illnesses and disabilities. It's like that lack of motivation is completely real, difficult, and almost impossible to break through, plus the chronic illness side of it. So like, I think it's, you know, understandable that you may want her to do certain things, and there's nothing wrong, and it's actually great to talk with her about the options that could maybe help her get more physical activity if she wants to and she feels like it's possible. But like, man,
But also, he's kind of, you know, I'm assuming from the way it's been said that this poor lady doesn't have a lot of answers, because, you know, just saying, like, he's really minimizing it in like, oh, her wrists hurt and she gets headaches, and in that way people don't have as much sympathy. Do you know what I mean? Like,
without a title.
Whereas there's no, like, there's no diagnosis. Like, so she's obviously in the really early stages and still looking for some answers as to what's going on.
Or at least the early stages of diagnosis. Yeah, not like necessarily the early stages if she just developed it, but like she doesn't know exactly what's going on, or like why these
because
things
we
are
read
happening.
that and go, yeah, she's probably got
yeah, like
instantly we were like, yeah,
what?
That sounds like it could be.
Yeah, I rarely do I read something and I'm like, but this time.
So people on the internet agreed with us because 756 people thought that he was an asshole as well.
Yep, there we go. Okay, let's do the next one for me. Am I the asshole for being open about my disability? A colleague approached me at work and asked about how long I've been on crutches. I told her that I've been on them since I was very young. It's been around 15 years or so. She was surprised by how long that was and asked a follow-up question about how much longer I'll be on them. My response was probably till I meet my grave, whenever that is. This comment she didn't take too kindly about and said that I have to remain positive and try to think that way. God will always find a way for his children. Oh my God. If you keep that mindset, you're only going to meet struggle. I'm normally very indifferent and don't care about what others say in regards to my situation and think that I'm doing all right for myself in regards to the cards that I've been dealt. But I told her we don't have the same lifestyle or quality of life. If you think I enjoy being in this state, then you're the one being closed-minded. She seemed bothered that I actually responded in that manner, since there's a social stigma of disabled people being overly dismissed.
I think, you know, the person writing this, obviously 3, 2, 1, not an asshole.
Yeah,
it's definitely the woman that responded the way she did that's the asshole. Like, I think people get really, really funny when people with disabilities like speak up for themselves and also are realistic. Like, if we are too negative in their minds, then we're not trying hard enough, like the last guy, or we're not, we're being pessimistic and depressing. And if we're being too positive, we haven't really got this illness at all. Do you know what I mean? We're over exaggerating the bad stuff. But most people are just realistic, and people can't take that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, it's also that they seem to think that, I don't really know how to say this, but like, that we should be keeping up hope that we will get better and that we'll be off crutches.
Yeah.
If you expect me to always feel that way, I would not, you would not accept that you're on crutches. That's not saying that it wouldn't be cool to be off of them when you're older. That doesn't mean you never ever think about it, but like, that shouldn't be on your mind, because then you're always thinking about what's not going on and like keeping up hope that we should be like you're saying we should be keeping up hope, and then you're also implying that it's really that awful to be on crutches and that we really couldn't be happy this way, and that we must be changed to back to without crutches in order for us to actually be happy, which isn't false, which is completely false.
It's the whole silly stereotype that like the goal for every single disabled person is to walk again. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the inspiration porn situation where that is the goal in life, to not use mobility aids. And people need to understand, and I hope they do if they watch my channel, that that's not the case. Like, as soon as you are a disabled person who's accepting of our mobility aids and use them in the way that is helpful, it means freedom. It doesn't mean being shut down or confined. And I think that's what this woman in this story, who's reacted the way to the original poster, doesn't understand and needs to.
Totally. Okay, next one.
Am I the arsehole for not caring about my friend's chronic illness? I have a friend who has endometriosis and it affects her a lot. I sympathise with her, but her constant need to talk, complain, ask me questions about endometriosis really tires me out. Also, I don't have endometriosis myself, so I don't know why she thinks I can give her medical advice. I also have some chronic illnesses of my own, which is really hard for me to deal with, and she never wants to listen to me talk about my issues, just reconnects anything I say back to her issues without letting me finish. I just don't have the energy to constantly care and support her through her illness when I need that energy for myself. Recently, I've started telling her to talk to her doctor about any questions, issues she has with it, and she gets all huffy and puffy about it. Note, this is not in the US, so it's not about money. Or to Google it and ask in endometriosis support groups. She won't listen to that and keeps asking/telling me about it. The more she pushes it, the less I care about her struggles with it. I've heard it all so many times, and my energy is just at an all-time low due to my own illnesses. I've been told by some mutual friends that I'm being a dick for brushing her struggles off, and that I should care more about our friend. She's more open about her health issues than me, so not many know just how bad I have it. I prefer to keep that part of my life more private. So, are my friends right? Am I the arsehole?
I say that
at first, sorry.
Both and neither at the same time.
Yes, when I read the title, I was like, well, yes, you're going to be the arsehole.
Yeah.
And then the more I was reading it, I was like, okay, maybe you're not. I think obviously the fact that this person has chronic illnesses themselves is going to make them more kind of understanding. And I know that I've had it in the past where I felt like my energy as someone with a chronic illness isn't being respected by someone who has asked for support with their own.
Oh my God, same. It's hard because you don't want to be.
It's really tough.
And you want to be there for somebody. Like, you have friends for a reason, and like, I consider myself somebody who is there for my friends, and I want to be, but sometimes you also have to be selfish, and you only have so much energy and so much that you can give. But at the same time, it sounds kind of like this person, when talking to their friend, is not providing them with that support even during the times where they are talking about it. And this person, you know, like, it's hard because, like, it sounds like but then their own struggles are not being validated by their friend.
I think this is the thing. It doesn't sound like it's a mutual relationship.
Yeah.
And I think that's the tricky thing when asking anyone for support, is that it needs to be a mutual thing. It needs to be, I know I can go to you for support or to vent or to whatever, and you can come to me. But I think people also need to understand that even if they are your like best friend in the world, the person's whole world can't revolve around just that one person. Like, they've got stuff going on, especially if they've got their own chronic illness, which means we have such little energy that it's hard to give. And it depends how many people they're supporting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, 100%. I think that they both have certain assholey qualities. That's really not the right word to describe it, but just because somebody has to be the asshole and somebody has to not be the asshole. Like, it's that they both have parts of both. I just think that maybe this isn't the best, maybe I don't know, it's not the best, it's not the healthiest relationship.
No, definitely not. And I think, you know, don't get me wrong, I know we've said when we've spoken before on things that finding your people in this world is important, like finding people who understand your chronic illness is really important, but sometimes that relationship just doesn't work. Just because you have the same illness, it doesn't mean that you are gonna, or, you know, similar illnesses, that you are gonna bond in that way. Often it does, and it's great, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. So we can't force those relationships if they're not good for us. So I don't think they're an asshole for being a little bit selfish. Is that bad?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's bad.
Oh, no. Not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. I never know how to answer that question. Okay, do you want to do the next one? Am I the asshole for mansplaining my date's disability? Probably. No. At the beginning of lockdown, I was bored and on Tinder, not unusual, and met this woman called Lara. Or Lara, I don't know, Lara. We began talking and agreed that we should meet up once restrictions had lifted. She very early into talking warned me that she was severely deaf, but I've met deaf people before, so this didn't bother me. She came over to my apartment and we really got on at the beginning. She didn't look exactly like her pictures, but I thought it wouldn't hurt getting to know her a little bit. A few minutes after we got situated and comfortable with each other, I asked her some questions about herself, which she didn't answer as she said they were too personal. She then made a comment about her deafness, so I took this as an opportunity to tell her what I knew and ask if she'd ever considered a cochlear implant and such. She rudely interrupted me and told me I was getting some of my facts wrong, and when I asked her how she'd become deaf, she said it was meningitis, which I was unaware could cause deafness, so in the moment I laughed and said that wasn't true. She left half an hour after getting to my place and said I wasn't listening to her, nor was I getting my facts right. I got quite irritated by this, as I thought it was quite rude, so told her I'd walk her back to hers, to which she refused, saying it was fine. I checked my phone later that evening, and she sent me a long text before blocking me on everything, basically saying I'm a massive asshole. When I've told my friends about the date, they've all said that too. Am I the asshole? Yes.
Yeah. I don't need a 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, seriously, no 3, 2, 1 there.
Like, what does that guy think? Like, she is the one with the disability. She knows. Like, I don't like people that assume everything. You know those people that go, oh yeah, my friend's got that, and just like think they know everything about a certain condition when they really don't. And also, what really gets me about all the posts that we've just read is that some of these people are definitely arseholes because they're revealing quite private medical information about people. I know that it's mostly anonymous.
Well, they're probably changing the name.
But it's still, I wouldn't want someone writing something about me. I know I share all my illnesses, alright, maybe not me, but but I wouldn't want someone without my consent going on the internet and being like, oh yeah, my girlfriend's got this. Like, I don't know.
I don't know, that doesn't bother me as long as there's absolutely no way for somebody to identify it as you. Like if they said, I dated a YouTuber who has Ehlers-Danlos pods, and then she was first diagnosed because she had a CSF leak, like I'd be like, Jenni? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, yeah, but even
so this doesn't bother
putting
me.
the name in that one, I don't know. It just felt a little off.
Yeah.
Because some people will know, like if someone puts the area, the name, and that someone is deaf, like someone might know that. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I'm assuming that the name is different. I'm assuming that's like a fake name.
But how do you know that?
Well, then if the person did not put a fake name, that's an asshole.
That's what I mean.
Like 100%.
And you know, the same with the 20-year-old woman dating the 36-year-old guy. Like, I feel like that might be too much information. And that she has all these conditions.
Well, I know what you're saying. Like, you could say a guy who's 15 years older. Like,
that's what I mean. Like, people might know that. Like,
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, so one thing I do want to say about this is, like, I'm no expert on deafness, but I just know from videos I've watched, people who I've spoken to, and just from also having a disability, you know, at least somebody, okay, whatever. But what I'm saying is that people oftentimes, you know, I can understand why asking, have you considered a cochlear implant, is like really kind of stupid, offensive, and invasive. Like, the assumption is that I necessarily want to cure it. The assumption is also that you're trying to like pretend that that's what you know, and like you're super like cool and like you know so much, like, but like that's like the most basic thing ever, and like you're trying to like say that you understand my disability. You're like, it's a weird question. It's like also none of your business. Like, why?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I could understand if it wasn't a first date. Like, I don't think it's right anyway to ask anyone about, well, why haven't you had this treatment, or why haven't you had this medication or management option, because it instantly puts the onus on the person that they haven't been doing enough and they haven't tried everything, when I'm sure they have, if that's what they want. But also, like, yeah, it's just not okay.
Yeah, it's like someone says, like, have you tried yoga? Like,
yeah.
If you guys have any asshole stories, asking yourself, am I the asshole? Is that person the asshole? Feel free to share them below, or head over to the Am I the Asshole Reddit subreddit thing. We'd love to hear them, yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Very fun.
Do let us know in the comments. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you are subscribed to my channel and to Izzy's channel, and also go and check out the video that Izzy and I have done over on her channel talking about some of the comments that we receive on Instagram and on YouTube. Spoons and love, guys. Mwah. I'll see you soon for another video.
Bye.
Bye.